Welcome to...
The Crypt Twins.
Oh, dude, that's so much worse. So much worse with the headphones on. It sounds like you're right here.
What?
It sounds like you're right.
It's the Crypt Twins.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
All right.
Yeah, we've got our headsets back on today.
Yeah.
It makes it a little bit nicer to kind of hear how loud we are.
Yes.
Or quiet, rather.
Quiet load.
Because there are points of it where you're very quiet. Honestly. But now we can change the voice meters and everything up here on this little fun guy here.
Fun guy. My name is Adam.
My name's Michael.
I just had water, too. What the heck?
He's dying.
So, last week, we talked about the great state of Kansas.
Kansas.
Talked about the cryptids that were over yonder.
We had
Sinkhole Sammy
Sinkhole
boy.
Sam. Sinkhole Sammy?
Sinkhole-
Was it Sammy or is
It
it
was
Sam?
Sinkhole Sam.
Okay, I called it Sammy.
Yeah, Sinkhole Sam.
We also had...
Sammy is one of the Winchester brothers that is from Kansas.
His name is Sam.
Dean calls him Sammy.
You don't look like Dean.
I don't.
Jensen Ackles.
Yes. And then we also talked about the pterosaur that they had.
Yeah, the pterosaur, and then the
Bayman,
the Bayman.
which is just Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
Actually,
No, well, kind of. Yes and no.
I wish
Bayman
I would have
was
looked a little bit more into it, actually, but he has
he was
apparently reported to be like
a human
more
gorilla
like-
hybrid, right?
yeah, but it was also kind of going into what we're going to be talking about in Kentucky. Looked more like what some said was a dog man.
Oh,
Because it had like a weird snout. But like all
so
the
maybe
pictures...
the gorilla had sex with a dog.
That's what was said.
A super gorilla.
Yeah, the super 12-foot.
Super
Also,
it wasn't
we
a
said that
chihuahua.
wrong, by the way. Gorillas, they get to be about 5 feet tall. We said 6 feet. I was listening to it earlier, and I was like, yeah, that's 59 inches. That's almost 60 inches. That's 6 feet tall, because I'm an idiot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's 5 feet.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm taller than a gorilla.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
This week, we are
At
talking
least it's
about...
a gorilla.
This week, we are talking about Kentucky.
Kentucky ballistics.
Good old Kentucky. And this is the accent that they have there, because I saw a documentary.
All I can think of is Kentucky ballistics. So
Oh, well, yeah, that's another good one, too.
that guy's good.
So, do you want to get right into the facts and the assumptions of said Kentucky?
Yeah, I still haven't made that little clip that I wanted to, but sure.
Facts and assumptions. We're going to think about some stuff. All right. So,
I'm not using that.
yeah.
You only got is it real, is it fake? Because I thought it was funny the first time.
Okay, so I was looking through the Wikipedia again on Kentucky. It's not set up like it was for Kansas, where it actually talked about, it broke it down what percentage of land is like this type of forestry, or anything like that.
Yeah.
It is a little bit differently. However, look at this number right here. It is comprised of 42,069 miles, square miles.
Nice.
For
42069. Wow.
Yeah, I'm a
That's
child.
hilarious.
But yeah, when I was
I didn't know
looking,
you were 8 years old.
dude, when I was looking through Kentucky, and I was like, all right, there's this land mass. There's no way that's right. So I'm hoping. I wonder if somebody went through here and edited it.
That would be pretty funny.
Math adds up for all the other stuff. So, compromise. It's a compromise of 42,069 square miles. It is 39,486 square miles is comprised of land, and the other 921 square miles is water. There's a lot of land and a lot of woods in this one. Tons of forests. I think they said there's 2 national forests and 3 national forests and 2 national recreation areas, which I guess the difference between that is national forests don't necessarily have trails and stuff, but recreational areas that are owned by the federal government basically have big plots of land that have tons and tons of trails through.
Okay. Well, I mean, you got also the Appalachian Mountains are right there too.
Yeah, Appalachia's up here in the northeast.
Yeah, it's the northeastern
northeastern
side
portions?
because it's right there below Tennessee.
No, Tennessee's over here.
What?
Yeah, Tennessee is below Kentucky.
I thought Tennessee was right next to Virginia.
No.
Is it Kentucky that's right next to
I
Virginia?
believe so. Map. Show me Show
me potato
Show me the map. But yeah, okay, so yeah, there's tons of woods, and there is a couple mountains and stuff, but there's not too much water. I did see a thing about two water cryptids and whatnot, so that's something. Yeah, Tennessee,
dude, I was
Kentucky.
totally right. Yeah, it's right next to Virginia. The only reason I know that is because Roanoke is right there, kind of next to, right under West Virginia. So you got Blacksburg right there. Go up. Zoom back out, dog. It's on the right side.
Yeah, Blacksburg's here, Redford's
Roanoke's
there.
right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, when you sit next to... Never mind. Whatever.
Yeah, it's next to it.
underneath. Virginia is above Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
When you
Well,
say
see, I
next-
knew I knew Virginia and Tennessee touched.
He knew they touched tips. So...
What?
Nothing.
Navy's fun thing?
The Navy?
Don't they like... What is that? No, they like tip to butt. That's
Yeah.
different.
All right. So Kentucky was it became an official state in the Union June 1st of 1792. Before it was a state, it was a part of Virginia with the first settlers. It was known as the District of Kentucky. It is nicknamed the Bluegrass State, and its motto is "United we stand, divided we fall." Anthem is "My Old Kentucky Home," which I did not want to listen to at all.
Okay.
Going into this, trying to, well,
You know you can become a colonel in Kentucky without being in the military?
yeah, you have to have isn't it like about a chicken stand?
What?
Yeah, you can become a colonel of fried chicken.
No. Well, yeah, no. He was actually a colonel.
Yeah.
But you can be it's a colonel for something else. You have to, like, you can be. There's this lawyer on YouTube I saw, or I've seen before, and he was a colonel. And after you get that, you can actually go by it if you want to, legally.
Oh, it's a nomination that must just be submitted to the governor.
Yeah, pretty much. The governor just
have
tells
to be
you.
18.
Yeah. And you'd be like, hey, can I be a colonel? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? If I was the governor
Dude,
of
that would be
Kentucky, I think
so
I'd
funny.
I'd approve so many of them just for fun.
All I can think about is somebody in the military, like joining at the age of 18, like they submit for nomination to become a colonel through Kentucky, and then they go by that as their title, and they just put in all their stuff. I'm Private Colonel.
Private
I'm
colonel.
Private Colonel Johnson. What did you say to me?
What did you say to me?
My parents said it was a good idea.
I bet you could
Instantly
trick a kid
hazed.
to do that. That'd be funny.
But yeah, there's tons and tons of wood area out here. Not too much water, like I said. There's a couple rivers, a couple lakes, but
Fishing's really nice out there.
apparently there's this area that we're going to get to later called Land Between the Lakes. But we'll get to that.
Doki doki doki.
Going into the cryptid side.
The corrected side.
The cryptid side. Looking
Oh,
for
cryptid side.
Yeah,
I thought
looking-
you said corrected. I was
the
like, what?
corrected side. Looking for a main monster. Usually the way I start is I just put cryptids of state, and the first one that popped up was a bearilla. And there was a YouTube
sounds so
documentary. Well, not a YouTube documentary. I can't remember who made it. I'll have to look back at it. It was 45 minutes long, and I watched a good bit of it. And yeah, so I thought that was going to be the main meat, but after looking into a bunch of different things, it seems like werewolves / dogmen are the main meat for Kentucky.
Slappy.
How did you get that so tasty? Dogman.
What?
Dogman.
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 Wait, so it's a collection of dogmen?
Yeah, there's multiple different sightings, and oddly enough, a lot of them start with a lot of them start with the whole.
okay.
We saw it first in the 1940s. Some kid saw it by the 1940s. A kid got attacked in the 1940s. It's the same story. I've seen multiple different times. But the bearilla, I don't understand why they called it that. Based off of its description, it doesn't match a bear or a gorilla. They basically described a werewolf and then just decided to say, "Oh, it's a dang old
Wait, so
bearilla."
it's a werewolf. It's described as a werewolf. A werewolf. It was described.
So it's described pretty much more like it says face and snout of a wolf, but the body of a bear.
Okay.
And so this is what I wrote. This was just different synopsis of things I was reading on. So this creature has broad shoulders. It's very tall. The face and snout of a wolf, but the body of a bear. And I think that the reason why they called it the Bearilla is because of how hulkingly in size that it was, because it must have been massive. They said, like, every single time I saw it, it said broad shoulders all the time.
Oh, okay.
So I think they just saw this huge...
It had broad
It
shoulders.
had very broad shoulders. And
I could
usually...
just cry on one of those broad shoulders.
And usually what I saw was it was about 7 feet tall is the primary thing. But it's still tall for a gorilla. I feel like I'm shouting in my own face.
I can lower the voices, but I can't make it super loud.
Oh, very well.
Yeah. So
I'm going to talk like
please
this.
do not do that. It's easier for me to lower the voices for everything than it is to increase them.
Okay,
I only
that-
have such an amount that I can go up.
Okay.
And since it takes both of our sounds, both of our mics in at the same time, if I'm really loud and you're really quiet and I just make it super loud, then everything I say is like this. And everything you say is like this.
Okay. All right, so the Bearilla sightings were mostly seen in the Daniel Boone National Forest. If I remember right where it's at on the map, it's kind of down towards this bottom area towards Coben and London, Kentucky. Kentucky
said COVID. It's Coben?
Coben. It's
Cuban.
broken up into five different areas, pretty much. You got the Mississippi Plateau, the Cumberland Plateau, the outer bluegrass, the inner bluegrass area, which is central northeast.
Okay.
The western coal fields and the Jackson Purchase area, which I don't.
That's a funky shape.
Does that mean it was part of the Louisiana Purchase when it was bought? Maybe.
Probably not, since it says Jackson on it.
Yeah, but the Louisiana Purchase was made by Andrew Jackson, I thought. I don't know
remember.
history. I'm not going to be here and tell you that I do know history, but I don't.
I'm not going to be here telling you I know history.
Because I don't. So it says it was first spotted in the 1940s. A young boy claimed to be attacked on a creek bank by the creature.
Okay.
This was said by one Ron Coffey, who is a real dude. I can't. He's not renowned at all, so I can't find him on the internet. But he is on that YouTube documentary.
So they talk about him.
That and a news channel out in, I think it was either Louisville or the actual area around where.
Everybody says Louisville. Wrong. It's funny. No, you said it right.
Yeah.
Just everybody else says Louisville or Louisville.
Yeah.
Or it's just Louisville.
I
You got to
do
say it
think
with like
the
a...
reason why it is that way, though, is because the
Like a
French
slur.
settlers that got there within the 1600s.
So we call Louisville to kind of... Because wouldn't they say Louis or something like that? Like Louisiana?
I don't know.
Because it's spelled the same way in the front.
It is. I don't know why
Maybe they
it says
say
Louisville.
Maybe they say Louisville to tick off the French.
Probably. That would... I could see...
Oui, oui, eat my frog legs. It's Louisville. No, it's not.
Okay, so this Ron Coffey guy, I looked him up. I can't find anything about him other than he was on that documentary. He was also on the news channel that talked to him, and these were some of his quotes. Well, before that, Coffey has been researching this topic for like the last 2 decades.
Okay.
He's found no remains. He's found no bones. He's found nothing to say that it is even a creature out there killing things. What he does
Really?
have
Okay.
is a cast of a foot. That's like about 1.5 feet long.
Okay.
And he's like, "This is all I need. This is all the information I need. This
all the
proves this proves his existence." He said that there's no. Oh yeah, he goes back down to say, sorry, about the feet thing. They say it matches the foot of a Bearilla, which nobody has seen and nobody has talked about. But of course, it matches.
They've seen I mean, there's been sightings of it, but I doubt many of them are getting feet pics from a Bearilla to verify. Could you imagine?
Hit up my OnlyFans.
Yeah. Could you imagine like one like a Bigfoot or something gets like where it's like, I need some money.
Twigs and berries ain't cutting
Twigs
it
and
no
berries
more.
ain't cutting more. He sits outside of a house and sees a TV and he's just watching. And he's like, oh my gosh,
That's so
amazing.
much better than what I can do.
How do I get that?
I'm gonna figure out how to make Bearilla toe picks now and sell them to people in Kentucky. All right.
We know those Kentuckians are into that.
So Coffey goes on to say that he does not discount. I do not discount that many eyewitnesses. Everybody's not just imagining things and making it up. So,
So you say.
John Pugh, this is one of the largest stabs into the Bearilla story. John Pugh, this guy that was also in the, I have the name of it, LEX 18 is the news station that did the story on it.
Okay.
Down in Kentucky.
Uh-huh.
He lives right across the street from the Daniel Boone National Forest, and he says, there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
He lives right beside it. He has chickens and roosters that free roam on his property constantly.
Oh, yeah, and they would
And
have
he
been
has
eaten.
nothing that has been mutilated, nothing that's been crazy destroyed, and he even says, he's like, it just sounds like a big old hoax that people are putting together.
Well, there's a news station right there, and all of these things that are like Bigfoot know to stay away from cameras. So.
That's true. They see cameras and say, "Oh no, we can't. I
He
can't
can
have.
feel it.
It can't possibly be on there."
He can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Okay, so and apparently it was last seen in 1989. It has been seen, and this is another thing that brings me back to these other people in comments. They were calling it a dog man, they were calling it a werewolf, or some sort of rougarou. It was seen last
What?
in rougarou. A rougarou is if I remember right, it is
Is it a
basically
Native American thing?
French. No, it's French national folklore about werewolves.
How do you spell it?
Oh crap! Don't do that to me.
I
I have it up here. Right here. Rougarou.
Okay, it's a legendary creature in Laurentian French communities. Linked to the traditional concepts of the werewolf.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So they brought that story back with them as well. Back to this area in the 1600s.
Cthulhu is what people also search for when looking up the Rougarou.
That's interesting.
Oh, okay,
Excuse me.
yeah. So Louisiana, which is the state we'll be in next, also has that. I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, that's something we're gonna have to talk about.
Typical Cajun.
next week.
Typical Cajun.
Typical.
It says it's read as it's Cajun folklore, but for some reason I threw in typical in there. Typical Cajun
Typical
folklore.
Cajun.
Folklore. Yeah, that's a hard word to say.
So this was last seen in 1989, and it's been sighted in Kentucky, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Canada. I don't know why it just goes ahead and
What a
skips
weird-
Illinois,
and Indiana?
Iowa, Ohio, goes straight to Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and then Canada. But like I said, if anywhere has stories about werewolves or dogmen or anything like that, they're going to be talking about the same type of monster.
Interesting.
I said there might be more to this Bearilla, and it is just incorrectly named. Some say also that the Bearilla was the first name for the now named Kentucky werewolf that has been brought up in different reports and such.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's another. Oh yeah, gosh dang it, Adam. Okay, so
It's like
in the
you wrote notes,
1600s,
but you don't know how to read them.
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I put them in bad order. So, like I said, in the 1600s, French settlers started moving and making their homes in the present-day Louisville, Kentucky.
Yep.
And they brought the stories of the Rougarou.
Okay.
It's a bipedal, dog-like creature that attacks people on sight. It's it has a very big violence tendency for some reason, and just
Okay, it's very aggressive.
Yeah,
is what
just-
the word I think you were looking for.
yeah. Shut up.
It has a very big violence tendency.
Did I say big?
Yeah.
I meant large. I was trying to throw
Same stupid thing.
bigger words, better
All you have to
words
say
in
is,
it.
yeah, you know what's a bigger and makes you sound
Aggressive.
smarter? Yeah. Aggressive. It's very aggressive.
So also, the Cherokee tribes in the area had their own stories about a creature called a limmican, which matches the same description. Looking
Yeah.
up limmican, I actually found stories about the Navajo skinwalker, which we did Arizona.
See, that's what I was thinking. It could be another kind of Wendigo.
Yeah, it's
honestly.
some type of Wendigo, some type of
Skinwalker.
Nidlio-ishi? What was the big word you're not supposed to say?
Oh,
Nidlio-ishi.
Caillou?
No, that's the show that you're not supposed to watch. He's terrible. He's as bald as Michael, but his hair doesn't go back because his body hates him.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Daddy. Don't clip that.
I love that. Oh, yeah. That's going to
Okay,
be
so
somewhere.
in Shelby County, this was in December 12th of 2012.
Okay.
There was a story of werewolf encounters and maulings that had happened throughout the county. Rusty Newton, he's deputy county judge executive, said that it's not doing it to kill the animal to eat. These animals are just being mauled.
Okay.
And that's where the mystery is at this point. So they were finding all their animals chopped up, not chopped up, but like torn up from the inside out. And they
Weird.
don't know why. Some of them were in pens and like locked up.
Where did we read about that they eat from the butt?
Those are coyotes.
What if that's what it's like? It's
Um,
a big coyote, and it eats from the butt.
I don't know,
And that's why
because
they're
they said that
that's why
they were
they're
like
mangled.
They said they were like large pens and whatnot, but and a
Oh.
lot of pens were locked up.
Okay.
As of January 8th, 2013, I can't remember where I got this article from, but he said that as of
You said
that...
in the Anderson News of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky.
Huh?
And you got the article in the Anderson News.
No, I didn't. This was a different... This was a guy writing on it as of 1/8/2013,
Okay.
referencing the Anderson News of Lawrenceburg,
Gotcha.
Kentucky.
Gotcha.
So Lawrenceburg, they were laying the blame on a dog or a pack of dogs, and actually a lot of dogs had started getting out of that area, and people were putting dogs down
Okay.
because they thought dogs were going out and screwing up
Massacring
livestock.
livestock.
Yeah, but I don't really understand that because dogs, if they got out and they wanted to mess something up, they would eat it, right? They want to just mess it up and leave it.
Yeah, they would.
You think so?
Yeah. Remember Samson? Any dog, any possum, cat that would get into our backyard when we
That's
were
true.
kids?
Yeah, they would just play with it
They'd
until
play with it
died.
until they died, and they'd walk off. Now, granted, they were never like mangled into pieces, but there was only 2 dogs doing it. I mean, if it was like a bunch of them, then yeah, maybe.
Yeah. There was one other thing that I was looking at. It was Breeding, Kentucky.
What?
There's a place called Breeding in Kentucky.
Bet you a bunch of furries like to go there.
Yeah, probably. And that's like, I got so worried looking up this werewolf crap.
You gotta find somebody's furry fan
I scrolled down on, like, because I said werewolf or something in Kentucky, and I started scrolling down, and I saw this thing said furaffinity.com, and the only icon it had was a big fuzzy paw on the front. I was like, I'm not clicking that.
No, it's not.
Okay. Yeah, that was not cool. So, going on about the land between the lakes
See if I
area.
can find it for you.
No, I'm not going to look on that.
I'm gonna make you look at it.
So, the land between the lakes area, there is a portion of Kentucky. If you look, well, I would have to have Michael put this up, if possible.
What? Put what up?
The map of Kentucky.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'll do
There's
that.
this area right in the bottom left of the state, the most southwest portion of the state. You have the Kentucky River, which is also, I guess, changes names to the Tennessee River.
Okay.
And can't remember the other freaking, where's that? I need to find the other stupid river. Oh, I wrote it in my notes. Of course I wrote it in my notes.
Okay. What? What the heck? I don't know what that is.
Okay, so
keep going. I'm trying to find something to freak you out.
So the land between the lakes is a national recreation area in
Oh.
western Kentucky. It runs down to Tennessee.
That's not too bad.
It's in between Kentucky and Barclay.
That's just a werewolf.
I doubt
It's not
it.
that bad.
I doubt it.
Look, it's a regular werewolf. It doesn't have anything creepy hanging off of it. Let's hit next and see what that is.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want you to do this.
No, I'm just gonna keep going.
Just-
you keep talking, and I'll find one that's really gross.
Okay. So it's between the Kentucky and Barclay Lakes with 300 miles of shoreline, 17,000. Gosh, I simplified this too so I could read it better. 170,000 acres of forest and 200 miles of walking trails. Before the dams were built on the Kentucky and the Barclay rivers in 1959, this area actually used to be called Between the Rivers. Those were when those dams were made, and JFK apparently JFK had talked about it. Oh my!
Sorry.
So JFK called it the land between the lakes in 1963. And
Too
when
funny.
that happened, I don't know if that was the go-ahead, but the Tennessee Valley Authority, which is the federal government,
Okay.
took the land in between the lakes
Okay.
and cleared out any sort of people or businesses that were living there for conservation of the area. They just straight up kicked people off their own land.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
we're good at doing that.
they were American citizens.
It was the government. Yeah.
Yeah.
Governments are good at doing that.
It's so stupid.
So
But
they
anyways,
they just kicked him off.
they just kicked them
because?
off. Yeah, because
To
they were
make
going
it
to
a
make it
national park?
into a national recreational area. Yeah, recreational
Or
area.
were they doing it to protect the people from the werewolves?
Well, and that's I'm going to get to that.
Oh, really?
So over 228 family cemeteries exist throughout this area now, and this is like some big old forest Kentucky recreational area.
And it's cemeteries?
Yeah, 200 because when people used to live there,
Oh, yeah,
dating
yeah,
back
yeah.
to the 1700s, you got people that died in the house and you just buried them out back
Yeah.
because you would have a family cemetery. So in the 1970s,
Bring
the
those
story
back.
of the beast of the land between the lakes started to surface. There was also talks of hauntings, American Indian curses, and even witches. I can understand people thinking of hauntings, especially if there's that many cemeteries just out there.
Yeah, I mean that's like with that's why I loved where I was in Virginia in Roanoke because you could drive around literally and just see they've got a cemetery there, they got a cemetery.
I got
there.
Ma, Pa, Peepaw, Grandmama, and Uncle Tom in the back.
Sure.
That's a name?
No, I know. It's funny.
Yeah, I know. That I don't know. That was the only name that came to me. Okay, so
there was another thing too, though. But on our land there in Virginia, there was that like house that was burnt down or
Yep.
whatever. We
looked
found like
a
I found
mini cemetery out there.
it wasn't in the cemetery. There was no because I
Doug,
a little bit, a little bit.
did you find anything?
No,
Did you want to dig more?
yeah. I didn't. They didn't
You
look
should
like
have.
graves. They didn't look like graves. They looked like it was. So you had what looked like there was a chimney in there, and then there was stone kind of like laid out like walls.
Yep.
That was what it was. I don't think they were graves.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Did I try though? Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
because
So
no, you never know.
Oddly enough, though, when this monster started getting sighted, they did say that it was about 7 feet tall,
Okay.
like before. Had thick, long hair all over its body, and it smelled terrible. It left normal man footprints,
Okay.
aside from
What was
having
the other
padded
one that-
feet where the toes
Okay.
should be.
Okay. So a regular human foot.
Yeah, but then
With
it turned
pads?
into pads at the front.
Weird.
Yeah. It had a huge head with an extra long snout, housing large, sharp teeth with eyes that were fiery red, and long arms that had huge hands
See-
with large dirt cake paws.
See, that's stupid because that means someone would have to come up and see it pretty closely
Yeah, to make this.
in broad daylight to make this assumption.
Yeah, so
You can't see that at night.
this story that I got. This was this was an article that was on something called Guardian Tales. It was like a
Guardians of the Galaxy.
It was like a free web page or whatever. It's
Yeah.
been discontinued. When
Okay.
I looked up Guardian Tales originally, just did guardiantales.com. It took me to a mobile game website because Guardian Tales, it sounds like every other,
Oh yeah.
like a Hero Rush or something else, something stupid.
Hero Rush.
I got to,
Yeah, I heard that. That was pretty funny.
Sorry about
It
that.
was loud. Is that a Samsung watch?
It's a Garmin watch.
I didn't get one of those Samsung ones.
Oh yeah, those are pretty cool. All
Sorry.
right.
That
So
was
the
a
story
tangent.
the story goes on to say that a family was brutally murdered and disemboweled, and 2 officers found the scene.
And
Fun
where was
fact,
that? Uh-huh.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where it was at. They said it was on land between the lakes area.
Okay.
There's no newspaper story or findings to corroborate this story whatsoever.
Dope.
It sounds like some crazy ramblings of somebody, and they want to make a scary story
Right.
about the land between the lakes monster. Saw other things about people actually going missing and dying out there, or dying from actual people and murderers.
Sounds about right.
And people that have these victims in their families are like looking at these other people saying, "Oh no, it's a monster! It's a monster." They don't care. They want to know why their family died, and they think that it's somebody that was close to them because they were brutally murdered with by a knife or a gunshot
like
wound.
it was a personal kill.
Yeah, and it's tons of woods and stuff out there too.
That's pretty funny. Okay,
Um,
I guess it's not funny, but
Yeah, but going on, there's multiple different articles if you look up anything about Kentucky cryptids. There's tons of stuff about what?
sorry, I thought I saw something out of the corner of my eye.
Shut up, dude.
What? I told you there's shadow people in
Did
my
you do
apartment.
that? Oh yeah, you did do that.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if the light was affected. I just noticed that the light was on, and I don't like have it 2 different temperatures of light in here. Let's see. Can you tell the difference on there if I turn this back on?
I'm watching the screen.
Well,
I'm watching you fail at turning them on.
stupid.
Yeah, there's a difference. Not much.
gives more light on us.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll keep it on.
All right.
And I'll see how it looks in the description. So, is there any more for the werewolves, or is that it for our main meat?
There's a couple other ones. I don't want to go into too many, but there is this website, midnightkentucky.com, that I'm looking at right now, and it's tons of different werewolf and sightings. First documented on the excellent compendium of bipedal beast sightings in the bluegrass KentuckyBigfoot.com, and investigated by a noted researcher, Charlie Raymond, a homeowner in the older subdivision in the Shelby County. That's where I just talked about, actually.
Yeah.
Reported seeing two of the creatures around 11 in the evening while walking her dog. The terrifying duo rounded a neighboring house on all fours, eventually standing on 2 feet and continuing into a wooded, undeveloped portion of the area. The witnesses, meanwhile, frozen in fear, close enough to see the hair standing on their backs. The report documents that the jerky gate
in which the thighs moved, and extreme science coinciding with the event associated with various paranormal and supernatural phenomena.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like a couple of bears walked in.
Yeah, it sounds like... or
because
like,
bears will walk on their hind legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's
Black
nothing
bears
that...
will,
They won't prompt... Nothing really prompts them to stand
They
up.
just do it.
Yeah, and... I don't know. I don't think bears don't look like wolves in the face, but you could find a bear that has a longer snout.
Yeah. Yep, see here, right here. This is the reason why. When police were called to campsite in backwoods of Land Between the Lakes, known for the abandoned military bunkers and dog landscape, they were met by a gruesome grisly scene. Bodies of 3 to 4 campers, a young couple, and their children. Oh, so a lot more dead bodies.
So,
this is
in the
same
Land
story.
Between Lakes, they put military bunkers in there too?
Yes.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
So
And
it
it
was
says that
seized
the-
to be made into a forest, but also the military wanted bunkers out there?
I don't know. That's what it says.
It must be a training ground of some kind then.
Possibly. It says the bodies were found in the limbs of a tree some 50 yards from the supposed attack, and that strange howling was heard
So just
by
yeeted,
investigators in the woods surrounding the brutality.
just ripped his arms off and yeeted them into the trees. Just
Well, if it's a leopard, like if there's not Black Panthers, if it's like mountain
Mountain
lions
lions?
and stuff, they take their kills up into trees.
I guess that's true.
Leopards take their kills up into trees too. We're watching Naked and Afraid in Africa. Dude, leopards are terrifying. Like
Yeah.
they can pick something up 3 times their body weight and scale a tree with it like
That's
it's
awesome.
no big deal, and
That's
then just
cool.
continue to munch on the thing, and it's covered in
You
blood.
could kill a leopard though.
Oh yeah, I
You
mean,
could choke it out.
okay.
You could choke
There
out
was
a leopard.
there was a guy that did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I saw that story.
Totally choke out a leopard.
Okay, so, and this is the reason why I stopped this story short from that Jan Thompson character.
Okay.
It says, though this story has been met with large amounts of scrutiny online, Jan maintains that it's a true record of events, and some researchers of the Dogman phenomenon believe that they may have located the area in which the savagery occurred in the years since the incident.
Right.
In this case, and several of the others documented here, it's been suggested that the events have been downplayed or outright covered up by authorities involved with the investigations. This is not to mention the high strangeness surrounding werewolf events, such as the ethereal silences and UFOs occasionally being reported in conjunction with sightings. I saw another one where they said they saw a UFO and like a purple, yellow, scaly lizard monster was out in the woods as well.
Hillary Clinton.
But
She
yeah,
is one of the Anunnaki.
So that's pretty much everything on werewolves. There's tons more. I didn't really realize how much werewolf like different stories they have in Kentucky. Because I started with Bearilla, and then I started looking more into putting his name into it and searching for it, and everything I kept seeing was Dogman. So I was like, "Oh, look into Dogman." Put that in for Kentucky. And they started talking about werewolves.
I honestly think it's because it's in more of a foresty, mountainous area, or at least near where mountains are. You're going to have more bears.
Yeah,
I think that's what people are seeing. It's just a long-snouted bear.
true. And that wraps it up for Bearilla, werewolves,
Main meat.
Dogmen, the main meat you shall receive it.
You shall receive
With-
my mean meat.
With or without me asking.
Because of the implication.
Because of the implication. All right.
So, as far as little ones go,
Just don't step on it, it's so small.
we got a couple in there. It seems like we have, well, a thunderbird, which, yeah, It's kind of what I figured we were going to have something like that.
Yes.
A lizard man, which that sounds pretty interesting.
Lizard man, right here.
And the Harrington Lake water monster. I guess it doesn't have even a better name.
No, that's this is one of the reasons why I wanted to pick on it, because it doesn't have that much water. But this one, oddly enough,
Is a
happens
waterway.
to be in. Yes, it is. I understand that, Michael.
I'm just saying.
But
You said it's
this
small,
is the
but I want to
deepest.
make sure we knew.
This is the deepest lake in Kentucky, so of course that's where.
okay,
your
yeah, that's where your water
is.
monster's going to be. Because
Yeah.
nobody's explored that deep.
Well, it's only 250 feet deep.
Only.
Yeah.
250 deep. 250 feet deep is pretty deep for a lake.
Yeah, well, I know that, but I mean, when you say they haven't explored it all, we've been
Yeah.
in deeper and deeper areas. Why wouldn't they explore it all?
Because it's Kentucky.
Sure.
Who wants to put money into exploring a lake in the middle of Kentucky?
That's true. So this is the deepest lake in Kentucky. It's 35 miles long and at its widest, 1,200 feet.
Okay.
And it covers 2,335 acres with a max depth of around 250 feet. I think this thing said 249. I was like, just round up.
It's 1,200 feet wide isn't super wide.
This
That's like a quarter of a
is
mile.
the fun part.
Okay.
It has the.
We're not going to the
snap-
little ones yet.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying what we were looking at.
Oh, I'm
'Cause
sorry.
I didn't do the thingy yet.
Oh. We also have the Goat Man,
Yeah.
the Pope Lick Monster. That's its other name.
Pope Lick Monster?
And the Kellyville Hopkin Goblins.
Well, then let's get right into these little ones.
I apologize for
That sounded gross.
jumping the gun.
Little ones!
Little ones.
So, maybe we should start up top with a Thunderbird.
Thunderbird of Kentucky. I don't really. You want me to just look it up real quick?
Just go back up. I just saw winged creature. Pretty sure that's it.
Well,
So, yeah, it doesn't look
it's
like
very small.
Yeah, well, it's a little one. What are you talking about? So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's another Thunderbird. It's like we have another Bigfoot, basically, another cryptid that's been seen relatively, over and over again.
Well, they say it's that, or Kentucky has its own kind of Mothman, but I think they're trying to ride the Mothman hype.
Probably. I mean, West Virginia is right there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, that does make sense.
So, I mean, I feel like we find a lot of those. Now, the Lizard Man, though, that seems more interesting to me.
Harrington
I mean,
Lake Monster. Hold on, I'm trying to find. There, Kentucky Mothman.
okay, so there's a Kentucky Mothman now.
Demon Leaper. Demon Leaper! It leapt to my demons. So Lizard Man. Lizard Man was up, right? Here?
Almost. There
Right
he is.
there.
So it looks like several people report seeing a lizard walking upright that was about 6 to 7 feet tall and behaved like a man. It's the Anunnaki. A lizard man. All of these reports.
The earth is flat.
The earth is flat.
Do not go toward the edge.
The earth is flat and also hollow at the same time.
And the ice wall protects us from falling onto space.
And NASA has employed hundreds of thousands of people to guard this ice wall.
So many.
So many people. All of these reports of placed, man, this guy did not proofread, placed this lizard man in the same location.
I saw another one earlier.
Pine Mountain in Letcher County, Kentucky. Pine Mountain is one of the few mountains that has no coal and is interesting for a few geological factors. Pine Mountain is a 125-mile area that forms the first ridges of the Appalachian Mountains. Oh boy, it is like the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki do like to live in mountains.
Oh, no.
Pine Mountain is one of the few mountains in the area without merchantable coal, but it does have limestone depositories, which, upon the coal industry's decline, have been sought after by other industrial resource companies. Pine Mountain is home to the ice cave beetle, which doesn't live anywhere else in the world. Don't know how that... Maybe it's what the lizard man eats. I don't know why they're including that. Pine Mountain is also one of the largest tracts of intact continuous forest remaining in Kentucky. It represents a critical migratory corridor for many animals, including bears, salamanders.
Did you really...
No, I was trying to say it as bad as I could.
Salamanders.
Salamanders.
Wait,
Flying squirrel.
Hold on.
What?
Salamanders migrate?
Yeah. I thought they did. They moved from I thought they moved from running waters to lakes and stuff.
I didn't know that.
It's one or the other. It's like they move from standing water to running water or running water to standing water. And they do cross land.
I don't know, just the way...
Today
made me
we're
think
going
of-
to track the
the migratory
It
status.
just made me think of the way that
salamander.
birds move, because it gets colder in the winter. I was like,
Yeah.
do tiny lizards do that trek the entire way and expect to live?
No, it's strictly reproductive. based.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Strictly reproductive.
Makes way
based.
more sense.
So,
Like, you got the
yeah,
tiny
'cause it
lizard
says
that's
flying,
like,
flying squirrels and rattlesnakes too. So you think a rattlesnake's gonna move north to south?
this tiny little lizard like, it's getting cold.
Yeah, time to move all the way south, and he moves all the way from Virginia down to here.
Just gets
This is an
eaten
area
immediately.
that's untouched by industry, so it's a good place for unknown species to live and stay hidden. So
This
there's not
literally
a
had
lot-
nothing about it other than saying
Other-
somebody saw a lizard man.
Yeah, several people, several reports. So not a whole lot about that one. No actual reports put in, but it's a cryptid that has been seen. So
Goodbye.
that's why it stays in the little ones.
Get
Don't
out of here.
delete it. Next, we've got the Harrington Lake water monster. Doesn't really have a name. It just lives in this lake that Adam was trying to give all the information out earlier. It doesn't have a name, so I'm
But
assuming
I
it's going to be
my
like...
favorite part.
Go for it.
It's got the snout of a pig and the tail of a pig.
Oh, what?
Sometimes it has a head of a pig. It's at least 12 to 15 feet long, and it moves as fast as a speedboat, but it's very shy. And it's a very long, flexible body. But it's got a pig face.
Check out my pig snake.
I don't know.
There is the hognose snakes that do exist, so it's
No.
not impossible.
There's,
Having the tail of a pig though seems ridiculous
or having
unless
the
it
head
uses
of a
it.
pig.
Unless it uses it.
Like what? Like the
Like a
super
propeller.
small bacteria that
Yeah.
uses the...
Yeah, it uses it as an impeller or a propeller, and it goes forward like that. That's why it moves so fast.
There's that.
So
Goodbye.
the next
This is
part,
stupid.
next one we're gonna look at is the Goat Man or the Pope Lick Monster.
There's a whole wiki on this one.
Yeah. So
It's a little-
is there a reason why it's called the Pope Lick?
Yeah, it's a creek over in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, I thought they were because it's a goat man. And usually, that's associated with Satan. I was thinking it was like its favorite thing to do is
Dude,
find
I read it too, and I was like, I don't like the name of Pope Lick, and then I found this. So it is just a Kentucky. It's just a lake in Kentucky that's named after.
Okay, so
creek.
it looks like it's a legendary part man, part goat, and part sheep. So it has the wool of a sheep, the head of a goat, and the body of a man. I don't know.
Beautiful.
Numerous urban legends exist about the creature's origins and the methods it employs to claim its victims. According to some accounts, the creature uses hypnosis or voice mimicry to lure trespassers into the trestle to beat their death before an oncoming train. Okay. So it looks like it calls them to come in front of a train, which is kind of creepy. And also, I've seen that used before in different... What? Did I read something wrong? What are you
No,
pointing at me
the
for?
Otterman. The Otterman would also mimic voices and stuff to bring either people to save them or to mess
Yeah,
with them.
that's true.
Or to
It seems,
kill
what's
them.
funny is that's also looked at in different cultures too. Like there's a different Asian like not cryptids but paranormal like ghosts and stuff that'll mimic you or like loved ones' voices and say like, "Hey, come here.
Yeah, I've heard that one too.
I'm hurt. Get over here right now. You're grounded." I swear I'm not a monster. I'm your dad.
No, I did not die 20 years
I
ago.
didn't die 20 years ago.
I am still talking to you in the same voice I had.
Okay, so and the trestle that they're talking about is it's a bridge basically that goes. It's a railroad bridge that goes over Pope Lick Creek. So basically, the legends have turned the area into where where you're more than likely going to die. And I'm wondering if it's people are coming up with that to kind of
Keep
ease
people
their
away
mi-
from it?
keep people away from it. Because people can die on the on tracks really easy. I mean, it's like we had a guy out here in Jacksonville that died, or it was in Orange Park, I think. He died because he was fishing on the railroad tracks. And I don't know how he didn't hear the train. I don't know if he fell asleep, but he got hit by a train.
Gosh dang.
Yeah.
Gosh dang.
Gosh dang. Heck and heck.
Well, so talking about that, legends have turned the area into a site for legend tripping. I read this earlier. There's
Okay.
been a number of deaths and accidents at the trestle since its construction, despite the presence of an 8-foot fence to keep thrill seekers out. So people
Legend
are also,
tripping?
Legend tripping, yes.
Does that mean they trip while they're there? Like actually on...
It's
I mean,
bestowed
or
by
does it mean like
folklorists and
taking a trip to it?
anthropologists on adolescent practice, in which usually furtive nocturnal pilgrimage is made to a site which is alleged to have the best scene of tragic, horrific, impossible supernatural event.
It literally just means they're taking a trip, like there. Like the trip, it's like it's just an adventure. Different word for adventure. I thought they were taking drugs.
No, it's the same. It's just like, hey, we need to go. Like if we had some attraction here that was like some crazy site where something bad happened, they'd be like, hey, you want to go to
The lighthouse at St. Augustine?
You want to go to the place where 5 people died? Of course I do. And then you go there. So
Let's do it.
That's your legend trip.
Let's do it. Common misconception about the trestle is abandoned and no longer used, but in reality, it still carries major it's still a major railway for Louisville. So heavy freight trains still come through there. So yeah, I think it is just it might be a story made up to keep people out. It also could be literally there's a weird goat monster out there.
Oh, well, hey, also there was a movie made on it. 1988.
The Legend of the Pope Lick Monster. Oh, we're going to have to... It's a $6,000 film. It's only 16 minutes long. We're going to find that before you leave.
Yeah.
Because it's only 16 minutes. We'll watch the heck out of that. But yeah, so that one actually seems pretty neat. I don't know how much more is on it as far as...
I kind of wish I would have made that, though. Well, if there was more stuff on it, I think that's really the only thing I found, though.
Well, no, there's looks like there's a goatman in Maryland, too. So we're going to have to look at that.
There's
we'll have another chance.
Goatman in Texas as well.
In Tejas?
Yeah.
Along with the chupacabra.
The chupacabra.
The chupacabra.
What was the last thing I had?
Last one is
Hopkin
the
Goblins.
Hopkin Goblins. So it looks like on the evening of August 21st, I don't know why that was so hard to say, 1955, 5 adults and 7 children arrived. Man, that's a weird amount of people. Arrived at the Hopkins police station claiming that a small alien creature from the spaceship were attacking their farmhouse, that they had been holding them off with gunfire for nearly 4 hours.
For nearly 4 hours.
2 of the adults, Elmer Sutton, Billy Ray Taylor, claimed that they had been shooting at 12 to 15 short, dark figures who repeatedly popped up at the doorway or appeared into the windows.
Dude, if that was true, that'd be terrifying.
So what's funny, though, about that is, people talk about being abducted all the time, and it's usually like 1 or 2. It's more than like 1 or 2 grays at one time.
Yeah.
It's usually like 15 of them. So what if they just like their guns there? Because I don't know about many people that get abducted in Florida by aliens, or Texas for that matter, where we really enjoy having our firearms. Because like they come down, they're like, this is gonna be super easy. There's 5 people. There's 5 adults there. There's at least 7 kids. So it's only like 13 people. There's like 20 of us. We got this.
5 and 7.
We got this.
12.
It is 12. Yes.
Easy
One of them
way
was
to
pregnant.
remember it, by the way.
Yep.
5 plus any number, and then you add number to it again, you get the same number. So 5 plus 7 is 12, plus 5 is 17.
And yeah.
5 plus 6 is 11.
I know, I get
11
that.
plus 5 is 16.
I know. For some reason I thought, shut up.
Math is hard.
I thought it was 5 and 8 for some reason. Anyway, shut your mouth. So the residents of the farmhouse described them as being around 3 feet tall with upright pointed ears, thin limbs, and their legs were said to be almost in the state of atrophy. Long arms and claw-like hands or talons. The creatures were either silvery in color or wearing something metallic. Their movements on occasion seemed to be defy gravity, with them floating above the ground, which I've heard that before when it comes to grays too.
That is true.
So, although the creatures never entered the house, they would pop up at the windows and at the doorway, waking up the children in the house into a hysterical frenzy. I'm surprised they weren't awake from all the gunshots. The families fled the farmhouse in the middle of the night to the local police station. Sheriff Russell Greenwell noted they were visibly shaken. The families returned to the farmhouse with Sheriff Greenwell and 20 officers. Yet the occurrences continued. Police saw evidence of the struggle and damage to the house, as well as seeing strange lights and hearing noises themselves. The Kelly community now celebrates the anniversary of the event on a 3-day weekend, every 3rd weekend of every August, and call the event Kelly Little Green Men Days.
Hot dang, there is a whole thing.
Security Little Sister Protection Squad. That's funny.
Kelly Little Green Man Days. It happens every July 23rd.
It said the 3rd week of
That's
pretty
cool, man. That's yeah, there's a whole website to an extraterrestrial encounter.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely not goblins. definitely could be aliens, which still to me I think is pretty funny that they got down there and all they did was they held them off with guns.
Oh crap! I've seen this. Why have I seen this? I've seen this photo before.
You have?
Yes.
Because that's the little man picture? I don't know.
No.
That actually says they have antenna on that. That's pretty interesting.
That's weird. I like how I zoomed in and the picture stayed the same exact
Same
size.
size? Yeah.
So stupid.
So, yeah, so that's Kentucky had a good amount of these guys. So that's our.
There's even a written account.
My name is blank, age 50. I live at blank, Hopkins. So yeah, they have a written affidavit.
That's
Pretty
okay.
cool. Looks like stereo dials on his eyes. It's pretty neat.
You're gonna turn the fear up to 11.
So maybe, I mean, it could be funny. I mean, what if it was like it's a different race of grays that came down, and like, what if one race of grays told the other, "Hey, it's super easy to get people here. You don't even really have to try."
I promise it's easy.
Yeah, and don't unpause it or don't unmute it because it's still like super loud. But yeah, so what if they told like this other species that you should go down to that planet and see if you could
And
get you a person.
I'm so glad we just sent drones down there. I can't believe that they're doing this
on their own. These guys are going down. They're like, it's gonna be so easy. We can float and stuff. So yeah,
All right, so
that's it for the little ones.
little ones.
So now the question is, Adam. You know what the question is, Adam?
I don't know. I feel like it might be. Is it real? Or is it fake?
Is it real? Is it fake? Is it real? Is it fake? Is it real? Is it fake? Is it real? It's fake.
So here we
So
go.
funny, man.
We have our nifty scale that's right up here above our heads. One's on Adam's side and 10's on my side. 1 is fake.
Fake as possible.
10 is real as day.
Okay.
Which I've said like 3 times in a row now. So let's start off with the
Multiple different counts
of the werebeast.
Werebeast, Kentucky werewolf, dogman, bearilla.
To me, it sounds like we've
Bears.
got a lot of. It sounds like bears.
Sounds like
Sounds
bears.
like bears.
Bears that like to stand up.
Yeah, more often than others.
So
Because it could be you could almost call it a cultural thing for the bears that are there. They learned it, just like how monkeys learned how to use tools and stuff from across the world. And there's
Sure.
sets of monkeys that know how to use tools. And there's
haven't they gotten to the Stone Age?
monkeys. There's some of them that know how to use. They don't know how to make tools out of stone, but some of them know how to use a stone to like open something. Yeah,
Nice.
they're nowhere near what our Stone Age was.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Their Stone Age is rock.
I saw this thing. I saw this thing where it was a picture of there's a meme with is that guy's face where he's got like the beard and stuff is like,
Yeah.
hey rest of Animal Kingdom, I just figured out how to throw a rock. Get used to being on the bottom.
How's
Just pave the way.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so
So
I'm gonna say 2 for any kind of werewolf
it's
monster.
like a paranormal thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say a 2 because werewolves go far, far, far back, and they go
Yeah.
into multiple different types of-
cultures and stuff like that.
Yeah, we
So,
got like we said, we had the Navajo talking about the
Skinwalkers
we had the
and-
Cherokees talking about their own skinwalker,
yeah.
and then you have the French people talking about the
The
Rougarou. That wasn't
That
French.
was not French.
Is the Rougarou, eh? I got the sacre bleu, the Rougarou.
Sacre bleu, my Rougarou.
But anyways,
And baby wants some escargot and the Rougarou.
and those stories go back even further than the 1600s.
Yeah. So maybe a 3.
Yeah, I'll be saying 3.
3.
I think it's right here.
3?
I
Maybe.
think it's right here. I hope so.
So 3 for the
Wolf,
Kentucky werewolf. We'll just
Kentucky
say it, that way I
werewolf.
can put KW.
KW. That's a lot easier.
KY jelly. The Thunderbird. We see that one everywhere. There wasn't a lot on there for Kentucky, so I'm not going to even think. I don't even think it's going to be included.
I'm gonna say it's like the pterosaur thing, and it's over there
Fake.
in the
0.
zero pile.
0. All right. Lizard Man.
No,
Adam, the Anunnaki are here. Hillary Clinton.
So, in the minds of delusional people, 10.
10.
Absolutely.
Lizard people,
Lizard
10.
people are totally,
If you-
totally real.
If you believe the Earth is flat and hollow at the same time, and there's an ice wall surrounded by...
They probably didn't get past
NASA.
the first joke.
Probably not. They probably got really ticked off and... They're so real. Or they're commenting. I can't wait
Did
for
you
that.
say what?
What?
Soul rail?
There's a so real.
Oh, so real.
So real. They talk like that because they're sitting back like this in their chair because they can't fit.
You don't understand.
So,
The Anunnaki control our lives.
the lizard men are at 0. The
Yeah.
Harrington Lake water monster. Does a water monster exist? Probably not. I mean, there's possibility that it could be like one like everything else, but with a head of a pig,
and
the tail of a pig? 1. It's
I'll
a
say
1.
1. Because
Very much a 1.
possibility of it being like just 70% water monster.
I'm only
30%
giving it
pig.
I'm giving it a 1 because I really want to see it. It's so bad.
Let me see if I can find a picture of it.
Next one we got is the Goat Man, which
Goat Man.
we have had more stuff about that, and there's more paranormal stuff listed or kind of surrounding goats in general and goat men in general.
Yeah, and it's
Like
not
Krampus is a
necessarily
goat. Krampus is a goat guy.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily a cryptid, but it could just
be a paranormal thing.
paranormal supernatural being.
So I'm gonna go with a 4.
Yeah, I'll go that way. I'll look up Goat Man.
The Kellyville Hopkin Goblins.
You
they
you wanna-
aliens,
You want to
dude.
hear the crazy thing? You
What?
want to hear what I want to say?
What?
10.
You want to give it a 10?
I want to give it a 10.
I was gonna say like like an 8.
So I so totally do like believe that aliens are real.
Yeah.
I really do. And the fact that that many people saw it and that many cops went to it.
Yeah,
and
they
then
saw the damage
have a report-
afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless all those guys got super high on the same thing. It's pretty nuts.
So if you want
Okay,
me to
I'm
jump
saying
back,
8.
I'll jump back to 9. We
Well,
can.
yeah, I was
we'll
gonna
meet
say-
in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We'll meet in the middle. I'll say 9. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to throw a picture into that.
Oh,
We found a
goodness.
picture of the Lake Harrington monster, and that is great. And it's flesh colored, and it's it's so gross, dude.
It's like an eel.
It's got an eel.
It's an eel body. It's just a pig on an eel. That's disgusting.
I love that so much.
Oh, that's so
I'm
dumb.
gonna get that next to my
It's so
my
dumb.
reverse mermaid tattoo. I'm gonna get.
Man.
That was pretty good.
All right.
So
I've seen all I've needed to see today. Alrighty.
So there's our scale. That's what we think, and that's
Oh,
what we believe.
By
I don't
the
remember
way,
the numbers.
we did hit all 4 of
We did.
the list.
We did.
Also, by the way, yeah, Bigfoot. He's there too. That's another one
Oh,
of
of
the little
course he
ones.
is.
Little ones, Bigfoot. Woods, Bigfoot.
5.
5.
He's
Whatever.
not on there. Not,
He's not,
I'm
he's
putting
not
it
over
in
there. Yeah, but we had the water monster. We even had a tiny cryptid.
We did. Oh yeah, the
Aliens.
aliens. Aliens. I don't know.
So-
Maybe it's giants. You haven't seen that yet, though. You haven't heard that in time suck yet.
No. So, yeah, we had the
David
tiny
Hatcher-
cryptid, the
David Hatcher-
Sasquatch. We had a water monster, which is disgusting.
It's so funny looking.
Oh, no. And the
my
winged
favorite.
one. And we had the Thunderbird. That didn't really have much on it, but yeah, it's there.
Thunderbird.
On that note,
The next state we're doing is Louisiana.
Louisiana.
That is the only L state, right? We looked this up last time.
Yeah, I
it's
think
definitely
it's,
Louisiana.
It's only that's the only L state we have.
So we'll be there next week, going over those dirty Cajuns. That's so funny to me. Still, that was the joke.
Dude, it was so funny.
So
Such a funny joke.
I love Cajun food.
It is good. I mean, they'd
Have you ever been to Copeland's out here?
No.
I need to take you out
So
here. It's really good.
after Louisiana, we got Maine. Going up to the Northeast for the first time.
Well, Maine will be a cool one because Maine actually has, I think it's Maine or Maryland. They have the story of the rake.
Oh yes.
That one's going to be fun to go over.
Oh yes, Daddy.
Oh,
Gosh, I hate Caillou so much.
oh my gosh. I need to get that as one of the buttons.
Yeah. Okay.
We
well,
have 4 buttons. I can do that with Maine meat little ones. I don't need to do the. I can do the intro, but I don't think I need to. And then as soon as I can make one for the assumptions, we'll make one for the assumptions.
Okie dokie.
So we can just go, and then that would be like the little ones or something.
Okay.
So
Well, on that note, everybody, if you like this video, go ahead and press that like button. Press
lickety-like.
that subscribe-y button
That's
right
over
there.
here. Likes are over here. Subscribes
Oh,
over
I'm
here.
sorry. Like it over here, subscribe it over there. We got the playlist up there.
I saw it.
But we liked it. I liked this one. This was fun.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. Pig water monster.
Pig water monster.
That
That's probably my
seals it.
favorite.
That seals
Man, that's like a combination of my two favorite things, though. I love pork and I love seafood.
That is true.
That'd be great. So yeah, if you guys like them, if you like this video, and you want to see more of them, we're gonna keep making them, whether you like it or not.
So stick around and don't hate us. Later.
Who cares if they hate us?
They hate us because they ain't us.
And they got a big anus.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everything.
Oh.